Good morning, YouTube. Boy, do I have a story for you. So, last night, the dogs kept alerting to something, and I'm thinking, I have stew. It's not set out, but, it's good as hidden as I can get it. Buried under some rocks, so I could maybe have it for breakfast this morning, what was left. And they kept alerting to something last night, and I'm thinking, bear. There's a bear in the area. I had seen bear shit on one of the walks we did a couple days ago. So I'm thinking bear. And I get up at one point and I hear like crashing through the brush. So that really made me think, well, bear or elk, something like that. But you know how canyons echo. So we're in a canyon, so it was really hard to tell where it was coming from. So I ignored it, got the dogs to come back to bed, went to bed. Before daylight this morning, it's frosty. It's been, below zero every morning. So frost on everything, cold. So the dogs get up and they're raising 9 kinds of hell. And I'm thinking, I hope they're not harassing a bear. In my mind, it's a bear. So I get up and run over to see what they're barking at. And Roxy's still up on this, we're on this little mesa above the water. And Roxy's at the edge of that just barking. And River's down at the bottom. And I look down there. And to my surprise, it's a big bad otter. There's a small pool down below that's probably 3 or 4 feet deep. And there's an otter swimming in that pool. And River's over there barking and raising hell and jumping in the water with her coat, which is her sleeping bag at night. Getting and harassing that poor otter. So I gather up what I can and get down there and round her up, drag her back up here. It was quite the spicy morning. So I drag her back up here. I try to get a fire going because now she's soaking wet and shivering. She actually has icicles on the lower portion of her body where the water has dripped down and become ice. Get the fire going, start getting her warmed up. And yeah, it's been a spicy morning. But I was thankful, always thankful to see animals. I had seen the otter tracks downriver a ways a couple days ago, but I didn't think much of it because it was a long way from our camp. I did not expect to see one in here, honestly. I haven't ever seen one in here before, and I've been coming here for a long time. But anytime you get to see wildlife, I think it's a blessing, and it was a blessing to see that. I hope we didn't scare him off too bad, scare him too much. I got the dogs up here and have kept them away, kept little River on a leash because she just wants to go back there. Roxy paid attention to her mom and was a good girl and got away fast, but little River, she was not having it. She wanted to catch it, but she'd get in the water and it'd just dive its little head down, be gone. And there was a big rock in the center of this pool, and she would just it would just ring around the rosies underwater. It'd come to the surface and ring around and then dive under the minute she got close. It's pretty funny. It took me a little while to get to her, but I wanted to share that story. I have already had my coffee this morning. I had to get the fire going and get the coffee and stuff going. So I didn't get to say cheers, but I've got a little piece of bannock left that I've been munching on with my coffee, so cheers. Warmed up the stew. That's going to be my breakfast. Already fed the dogs. Needed to try to warm up my puppy. So I put warm water on her food so she'd get warm. Not sure what I'm going to do today. I'm a little tired. The morning started out hectic. Don't plan on cooking a big meal today. I had planned on making some homemade noodles and some kind of a sauce to go with it. But I don't know if I'm gonna make it be that ambitious today. I gotta collect a lot of firewood to do that. Well, not so much, because all I gotta do is boil water. We'll see how the day goes. Anyway, bye for now. Doing clown. So I came over to check out this camp, and lo and behold, I spotted some possible trail treasure. I'm thinking it's somebody in the military, but if you look at it, it says retired drug dealer. Is that trail treasure or trail trash? Now look at this camp. So somebody made a table with a slab of sandstone and an old stump. And you got several little benches. And I don't know if that's a bench or a table, but it's bench height. I'm guessing bench. And that bench and a rather large fire pit, but it's kind of cool. Looks like it's been used a lot. Anyway, I just thought I would share my discovery of this crazy camp. This is that little draw or tributary that I walk down, which is actually called the Hudson Draw. It's gorgeous down in there. I really liked that day hike. So this camp is on the ridge across from our camp. I can zoom in here. That's my tent. The little orange. Let's see, can I point? I can. So right there is our camp. That's the tent. It has Roxy's coat on it, trying to dry it out from this morning's escapades. But that's our camp. Join me, it's Cooking with Kay. Alright, so I decided to do the noodles. Now I'm gonna walk you through this. My mama taught me how to do this. She used to make homemade chicken and noodles. They're kind of a rustic, thick egg noodle. So I'm gonna take my pot, put some flour, and this flour I've already added salt to. That's all that is flour and salt for your noodles. You don't want any leavening agent in your noodles. I'm gonna leave some because when I go to roll the noodles out, I need to have something to keep it from sticking. So I'm saving some of that back. And I'm gonna crack this egg right into this. You know, most people would say you make a little well for your egg, and then you crack the egg into that, which I'm doing. Eggs in. Didn't get any shell in there. Yay. And once again, I'm going in with my hands. Hands is the best way to do this, I think. I'm going to get that egg all incorporated into that flour. Okay. Kind of want this dough to be thick. I want it to be super soft and sticky, really. Which I may have screwed up already. Need a little more flour, I think. My flour to egg ratio's off. When you're doing a small quantity. But I'm just gonna keep mixing it till I get the consistency I want. Come on. With more flour. I gotta save just a little. Alright, working it in. There we go. Now we're getting nice dough. Now normally you probably have to add a little water to this, but I'm not going to because it's already sticky enough. Like any dough, you want to knead it a bit. Let's get some more of this flour in. Alright. So, there we go. Almost like Play-Doh. So there's my dough ball. I'm just going to knead it a little bit more. Like, just making this into a flat ball or a flat tortilla shape, because what we do now is I should let this rest just a little while. It'll get really elastic when it rests for a bit, just like any other flour product. The glutens have to. That's what this is for. I need this so I could spread this out a little bit proper for these noodles. So I put it in a plastic bag and rolled it out. Now it's gonna need some more rolling, but for right now, this is just the basic part. I'm gonna have to roll it out a bit more to make it more noodle-like. Right now, I'm just gonna let it rest though. It needs to rest. So rest it is. Save that little bit of flour I got. Go clean up, and we'll come back in 30 minutes. So while I'm waiting for the dough, I made a sandwich. Actually a wrap, but herb garlic tuna. And I brought these on this trip. This is a Trader Joe's brand of marinated artichokes. There's very little oil in here though. The ingredients is small. It's artichokes, distilled vinegar, salt, extra virgin olive oil, lime juice, citric acid, dried onion, dried garlic, dried thyme, dried basil, dried lime zest, and dill. And the calorie wise, they're not very much, but this packet weighs hardly anything. And it really zests up a sandwich. It's if you like pickles, it kind of tastes a little like a dill pickle, but not so much salt. And it's really pleasant in a wrap. I have this tuna, a little cheese, and those artichokes in here, and it's a good lunch. So I'm back. This has been sitting for a little bit. Let's see how stuck to the bag it is. It's coming off okay. And probably gonna cheat a little. I found this. I have a gallon size bag. I was gonna try to roll it out on this bowl that I often use as a cutting board, but I found a gallon bag, so I'm gonna be able to get the width that I want with that gallon bag. So I'm gonna try that instead of messing around with rolling it out on that smaller vessel. Okay, it's out. Now this is what we needed the flour for. So I don't want it to stick, so I'm gonna flour the outside of this dough pretty good. And frame, I think so. So there's one side. Flip it over. Use as much of that as I can. Second side. Get it all floured up. Now, I had some other groceries in this bag that I used up, or my tortilla was in it. So, I'm gonna, for lunch, I'm gonna put this in here, flatten it out, seal it, set this aside, use my handy dandy rolling pin on this rock, roll it out. Alright, so now, this is what we have. You can see, I don't know if you can tell the thickness there, but it's fairly thick. That's how I like my egg noodles to be. So this step is I'm probably going to add just a little more flour. What was the other flour? Freaked me out for a second. Just a little more flour. Put a little flour on my stick here so it doesn't stick. Give it just another little bit here. Alright. See how elastic this is? It kind of, as you roll it, it'll bounce back a little bit. So got it the way I want it. I'm gonna need to flour this because we're gonna roll this dough up so we can cut it into our noodles. And we don't want it to stick. So there we go. Now I'm just gonna roll it up. Doesn't have to be tight. In fact, you don't really want it to be tight. Roll it up. Roll it up. Take my handy dandy knife and we're just gonna cut. Trying to be careful, I don't want to cut my bag. I'm gonna do it on this. Cut, cut. You can make these as thick or as thin as you want. I like mine to be about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch thick, like egg noodle size, till you get through your whole log. See how it does? It's all rolled up. Now once you get them all rolled up, you just want to spread them out. And now you have to air dry these. So, and depending on how dry the dough is or how wet the dough is, you want to air dry these for a little while. So spread them out, unroll them. Each and every one of these you got to unroll. I'm not going to bore you with that, but you get the idea. So I have these all rolled out. And see, I want to show you what they look like. They're not all quite uniform. Some of them are a little thicker, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to taste really, really good. So that's your egg noodle in a nutshell. These are already starting to dry a little. It's breezy here. It's a little bit warm because of the sun hitting this rock. So I'm guessing maybe 20 or 30 minutes on this rock, but we'll just have to wait and see. Here they all are. They sat out for about an hour. That's just a judgment call, you know, and it's not, if they set out and got really, really hard, it wouldn't matter, because when you put them in the boiling water, they get soft again. What I'm going to do is saute up some bacon, and I have some mushrooms, bell peppers. This is basil. It got wilted because it froze. This is onion, tomato, and a sprig of thyme and rosemary. I'm probably gonna, you know, strip all the leaves off of this and strip those off when I cook this. But basically, I'm gonna saute this up first, the bacon, and then I'm gonna add the mushrooms. Or not the mushroom. Mushrooms will be later. I'll add the onions and bell peppers in there and the spices and saute them a little bit, and then I'll add the mushrooms and the tomatoes last. And that's what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. Those I'll put in a separate pot. The noodles I'll put in a separate pot and boil those off a little bit in very little water so that I can just add all this stuff right into that pot and then eat out of that pot. So that's the plan for tonight. Alright, I'm gonna drop the noodles into the pot. Hope you can see it. Water's boiling. Woo. There we go. Woo. Hopefully. Go. My stir. I left it over there. Alright. Got the veg over here. With the spices. About ready to drop the tomatoes and the mushrooms in. We gotta get this to get back to boiling. Cook the noodles. Just wanted to show you that part. So I'm gonna put the mushrooms in first, because The tomatoes don't take that long to cook. You just really want them warmed through. A little acidity in our dish. And here we have it. Here we go. So we got the noodles. Bacon, vegetables. Yep. Turned out pretty good. See, these got kind of thick. Puffed up a little bit because of the egg. But they're good. Put the bacon back in. So that's the homemade noodles, my rustic noodles dish. Thank you for watching. Good morning. Cheers. It's a beautiful morning. Sun is up. Totally blue sky. Couldn't ask for a better morning. Got my first cup of coffee. Cheers. Got the bacon on. I got some eggs boiling, hard-boiled eggs and bacon for breakfast this morning. Then I'll be packing up camp and heading out. Today's my last day here. And it was a really good trip. Really enjoyed myself. I would definitely come and camp here again.